So what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Legendary EA, and we are back here for another video. And I finally finished up my draft class, man. Now the only problem is that 2K share, the boys still ain't fixed it. Like, they still haven't fixed it at all. But if you guys enjoy stuff like this, make sure you go ahead and like it up, and of course subscribe. And you guys already know that the rookies won't be in the game until like late November. So this is what I'm going to be using, man. I've already inputted some of these guys into my Timberwolves series, but we have like 20-something players in it. We don't have everybody. We have players like LaMelo, Onyeka, Obi, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Vassell, Isaac Okoro, and a few other guys like that. Jameis Ramsey, RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony, of course, the homies Jaden McDaniels, Josh Green, Cassius Stanley. Players like that, man. So not every single player is going to be in this, and I think that having these 20 players is actually really good. And I do plan on updating this thing as the next few days go on and on. But yeah, man, just let me know how you guys feel about this roster. Right here we got LaMelo Ball, and this is the same one that I used in my Timberwolves series. I think it looks close enough to what LaMelo looks like. Of course, he has dreads in real life, but the dreads that they offer you in the game are not the same dreads that he has. And I don't know why. Like, those are the most basic dreads. Like, yo, Chief Keef been rocking them dreads since I was in middle school, bro. Like, what's the problem? What's the problem? He can definitely pull up with that. We also have him wearing some Puma gear as well, because you guys already know that he signed for that bag at Puma. So we got that going. We actually got that going. Now, most of these face scans, some of them, it's just as close as they can look. I looked up tutorials on YouTube on how to make certain players, man. That's why in the first one, James Wiseman had them big old eyes. But for this one, we had to look up a bunch of tutorials on how to even make some of these players, and some of them don't even look the best. Some of them look close enough, if you ask me. So rate it down in the description below, and pretty much I'll show you guys how to actually find this towards the end of the video. And we have Anthony Edwards right here. We have him ranked as the third best player. Of course, in real life, I think he's the second best player behind LaMelo. But as far as the ratings go, sometimes the ratings get kind of iffy. Some ratings are rated more higher than others. But this is Anthony Edwards, and I think this is as close as it's going to get that you can possibly do without 2K doing like the little face scan. Killian Hayes is next up, 77 overall. In most pictures I see of him, he is wearing the PG4, so we actually have him rocking those as well. Once again, this is as close as we can get to Killian Hayes. They really don't have certain hair textures in 2K, something I think that they should have already had, but we'll probably see it in next gen. We'll see if they are finessing us or if they're just holding things for the next gen, which is still definitely a finesse if you ask me. Next up, let's look at Jameis Ramsey coming out of Texas Tech. The shoes, of course, at Tech he had to wear UA, but I think this is decent. They don't have tips, unless I would have made his tips blonde and just gave him black hair with like blonde tips. But since that was not like possible, I just gave him like brown hair, and I was like, all right, that's like a mixture too, close enough if you ask me. And the same thing with Jaden McDaniels. I think that this is a decent representation of him because he has like the same tips in his hair, but they don't have that in 2K, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think of this entire thing. We got Polshevsky as well. I probably said his name wrong, but we also have Jalen Green, and I think that Jalen Green, like the Jalen Green one, looked really close to him. I can't even front. Like, that's probably the closest thing that you can possibly get to Jalen Green. It looks pretty similar to him if you ask me. He's a 72 overall. And just look at him, bruh. Look at him. This actually looks pretty close to like Jalen Green if you ask me. Of course, he ain't got no swag like that, but, you know, I think this was a pretty decent representation. And this is on PlayStation, by the way, if I didn't already mention it. This is on PlayStation 4 on 2K Share. Right now, 2K Share is not necessarily working, but once it starts working, this roster will be available. I've already updated it. I've already uploaded it. All of that good stuff, and the name of it, you guys can just go ahead and find the name right here. So pretty much I'm going to save it, and I saved it as 2020 NBA Draft at Legendary EA. Of course, that's my YouTube name and my Twitter name, so follow me on Twitter as well. But this is how you can find that roster. Pretty simple if you ask me. This is the name of it. Make sure you go ahead and download it. I will try to update it as much as possible. But once again, I'm working on this channel and my second channel as well, just planning a lot of videos out. And if you guys don't want to search it this way, you guys can actually just go ahead and use my PSN name as well. That's gonna work too. Like, that's gonna work too. And for that, it's pretty simple. So I'm gonna type it in right here. It's Legendary EA. However, with the second E, it's a 2. It's really as simple as that. So whenever 2K share is working, just make sure to go ahead and type in my username or the name in general, and it should pop up, man. I really think that it's crazy how the game's been out for nearly like 2 weeks, still not working. Nothing is actually working inside of the game. I find that kind of crazy, and I still find it insane how we cannot start in the 2020 offseason. At least let us be able to do that. Like, I don't know what 2K is going, like, really doing right now. Kenny said that they're doing a roster update or something like that. They need to do a hot fix that lets us start in the offseason. That's all we're asking for. I don't think that anything people are asking for is too unreasonable. You guys make us start next season, which makes it seem like nothing even happened this year. Let us start in this year's offseason. Granted, I don't think you guys know when it's going to happen, but you guys can fix that later on. Just let us have free agency, the draft, and that's it. But other than that, in my little rant, make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's 2 videos. But I'm out, guys. Peace.